Good evening and welcome to Sports Today once again. First let me breathe easy and calm down. Only Mumbai Indians can do this in a run chase. Specifically, only Pollard can do this in a run chase. Uh, Akash was right. A player in need is a Pollard in need when he was doing the commentary. I mean, wow, what a game. This is what we were looking for. I mean, people were expecting for a good power pack game and they just got it. What a brilliant game. An absolute thriller once again, just the way we expected. Well, right now we have with us Rajashri Gupta. Hello and welcome once again.
Hi. I was counting my
It's good to
fingernails.
start the show with two of you and then the experts join. We get a space to talk about the game and then we throw the questions to them.
I was like, I was trying to take care of my fingernails here on Nisha after that game, that super over there, and now, just a few days back, right? And then that game between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Delhi Capitals. But what made this more exciting was obviously the intensity, the run chase. 11th over, I think they were at the 11th over. Mumbai Indians got off to a good start, courtesy of Messrs. Dickok and Sharma. But at the 11th over, they were scoring at less than 8 runs an over, right? And you had Pollard and Krunal Pandya batting together. Yes, they could have pulled it off. Pollard will do that for you once or twice a season, right? He's not anymore the player that he used to be. Maybe when we first saw him on Indian soil in 2009, if I'm not mistaken, in the Champions League. What a player he was! He still is he's still an absolute genius in the T20 format. But to take them home from there, they were 87 or thereabout at the 11th over, chasing 219. Wow, that's like you're
Rajat,
scoring 120 runs in 9 overs.
yeah, you remember the last year they had a match with Mumbai Indians had a match with RCB and though Mumbai Indians did not win it, but they did not lose it because of Pollard. It was a tie.
Yeah. But that's what I said. He will do that for you once or twice in a season. He's contributed significantly to the to the strength of that Mumbai Indian side. He's there as a he can give you those 2 overs. Also, the 2 overs that he bowled in a high scoring game, he got 12 runs and a wicket. I think he got that 1 wicket, right? So also think of that, how the impact that he has, and that innings. You're right. You could only expect someone like Kiran Pollard to pull it off. 87 not out of 35 balls. Yes, you could say that the pitch was a belter for batsmen. Ambati Raidu, of course, we can't forget his efforts either. 3 wickets that CSK lost for 4 runs in that space. Again, yes, great start from Faf du Plessis, Moeen Ali, good aggressive half centuries. Suresh Raina got out cheaply, but Ambati Raidu took them to that took them to that challenging total, their highest ever against Mumbai Indians for CSK, and this is the highest successful run score on Indian soil, the second highest successful run chase in any IPL game. So you can understand the impact of Kiran Pollard, and you can also now understand what Mumbai Indians are doing in this campaign. I think they're back on track. The campaign, they were scratchy in Chennai, but we kept talking about it, how they start off slowly and then they pick up steam. Now I think they're beginning to pick up steam. They're beginning to pick up momentum with that clinical victory that last game. And this victory on Nesha, it will do a world of good to Mumbai Indians. Now they know, right? Everybody knows the champions are back. And of course, the super cool Dhoni and his Super Kings on the other side. 5-match winning streak comes to an end, but we know the class of these two teams.
Just like me, who are like, I won't say that I'm emotionally attached to any of the team, but as a viewer, like I love watching cricket. So the disappointment was when Faf missed that catch. That was a very important catch, and Faf missed it at that point of time. I mean, the other day we were talking that what a great athlete it is, and today I was not expecting that Faf would miss that catch.
That is what cricket is all about. That is what cricket is all about. In fact, we were talking about when that drop chance. I was thinking back at exactly the same point in time. That last game was the Sunrisers Hyderabad. He took that spectacular catch, right? Yes, but these things happen in cricket. I was also thinking about Ravi Bishnoi did. He took that superb catch in one of the games. I don't remember who that was against. But after that, he started fluffing around in the field. He wasn't. I think that was against Kolkata Knight Riders when KKR were in early trouble. He took that catch of Sunil Narayan, and immediately after that, Morgan and Rahul Tripathi Ravi Bishnoi messed up on the field a couple of times, and that was enough momentum for KKR. But they were chasing a much lower target, and these things happen, right? These things happen on the field, but you can take nothing away from that effort for Pollard. And why this is more special is because as a senior pro, he's always under pressure, right, to live up to his name, to his reputation. When he's seen his captain and Quinton de Kock get off to a good start, he would have expected to do the same, carry on that momentum, and that is what he did so beautifully today, alongside Krunal Pandya, who I thought maybe was getting a little stuck, but good on him to sort of pick up the flow as well in the course of his innings.
But Rajesh, why did Krunal Pandya did not bowl today? I mean, is this because of there was continuously a left-hander?
It could be, but it could also be because they wanted to, get on with. They did not want to offer up Krunal Pandya's left arm spin on that pitch. It could be, but also the fact that at that stage, given the kind of start that CSK had, and then you had after those quick wickets, you had Ambati Raidu in the middle, who was in a very aggressive mood tonight. Right, he had to make the most of it, and you had Ravindra Jadeja. So I do not think that maybe they would not have wanted to quite risk going with Krunal Pandya at that stage, and those 2 overs from Kiran Pollard, that proved to be a masterstroke anyway. 2 overs, 12 runs, 2 wickets there. That he, sort of did not quite. It sort of nullified the need for Krunal Pandya to bowl at that stage. But yes, I was also wondering that maybe I thought that 1 over. But again, Krunal Pandya hasn't quite lived up to his hype as a bowler in the tournament so far, and Rahul Chahar had anyway done his job as a spinner. I thought he was impressive again. Didn't get any wickets, but to go at about 8 runs and over in such a high-scoring game, he did a good job. But Krunal Pandya, maybe that could have been a very risky proposition. His left-arm spin at that stage might have been a very risky proposition. I think Pragyan could talk us through that. Him being a left-arm spinner, champion, purple cap holder in the IPL. So yes, there are. But look, at the end of the day, this game belonged to the batsman, really. Ambati Raidu, those half centuries from Faf du Plessis, Suresh Raina, beg your pardon, Moeen Ali, and then good starts from Rohit and Quinton de Kock. You have to give them credit for that as well, because at that power play stage, they were just romping it away, right? And then good for the Super Kings. They pulled things back again with those 2 or 3 quick wickets. Suresh Raina's form, again, is that something that would CSK would want to, see them feather through in the next couple of weeks.
Definitely. Also, I remember in the pre-show, Rajesh, you predicted that Mumbai Indians, because of that hunger which Boryada mentioned, I think that Mumbai Indians is going to take it today. But after the first innings, be honest, after the first innings, what were you thinking that time? Is it going to be Mumbai Indians or Chennai Super Kings?
Honestly, I'll be honest. I'll be absolutely honest. Look, it was a difficult chase. Okay, it was the highest CSK had ever posted against Mumbai Indians. But again, just the culture of Mumbai Indians. When they get back to it. Okay, just and look at it like you again. I don't care whether it's Mumbai Indians or Chennai Super Kings, as long as you get to see this kind of games, right? You get to see this kind of spirit. The two heavyweights coming at each other, constantly. There was this stage where CSK were off to a great start. Mumbai Indians got back with 3 quick wickets. Then Ambati Raidu, and the same thing again. Rohit Sharma, Quinton de Kock off to a great start. CSK hit back, and then it's Pollard again. So it was bam, right? For me, I was hoping for the Rohit Sharma special, because Rohit Sharma he can ace these kinds of chases. Quinton de Kock was in good form walking into this innings. I actually thought that you'd see something spectacular from Rohit Sharma, be a 35 ball, 40 ball, 85, 90, that kind of a knock. I was banking on it, but yes, well, at the end of the day, you see Mumbai Indians win. Your opinion before a pre-match, on a pre-match show stands vindicated. But more than that, I'm happier with the fact that you've seen 2 real heavyweights of the tournament going head to head and really producing a stellar game of cricket. I think for me, this is one of the games of the season, halfway into the tournament. This was absolutely spectacular cricket. No matter whoever won at the end of the day, we got to see great cricket, didn't we?
Yeah, also Moeen Ali's fearless approach right from ball 1. We need to discuss about it.
Oh gosh, he is such an asset in the T20 format, or any format for that matter. He just comes in, like you rightly said, fearless from the word go, and he actually was the aggressor initially in that partnership with Faf du Plessis, right? They lost Ruturaj Gaikwad early. Again, Ruturaj Gaikwad has been in good form. He got out early today, and that is the thing with the Super Kings. Look at that; they just keep coming at you. They remind you of the Aussies of the earlier years, right? In the late 90s, that noughties, you could never write off Australia. They would be 5 down, 4 down, and suddenly you have Andrew Simons pairing up with someone like Damien Martin and just stunning you. It's a shock and awe kind of approach from the Super Kings. Not just Moeen Ali. Also, we talked about Ambati Raidu. 3 wickets for 4 runs in the space of 6 or 7 deliveries. Ambati Raidu still goes gung ho, great guns. That is kudos also to the approach of the Super Kings. But it'll be interesting, it'll be interesting to see what Pragyan has to say about that, about the fact that yes, Trunal Pandya did not get any overs today. But for me, of course, he has played the game. He's a purple cap holder, an ace cricketer. But I got the feeling that maybe Mumbai Indians would not have wanted to go to Krunal at that stage unless there's something else that we don't know of. But yes, that is one. And the second thing is this when Mumbai Indians are going to claw back to the top of the tournament? Because remember, Royal Challengers Bangalore, they were spectacular. They've been brilliant so far. But in those 2 defeats, you look back at that game against Chennai Super Kings. You look back at that game. Who did the most damage with the ball? A left-arm spinner. Left-arm spinner, Ravindra Jadeja got you the wickets of Glenn Maxwell and AB de Villiers for Chennai Super Kings against Punjab. Harpreet Brar. Wickets of Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers before that Glenn Maxwell sandwich in between. Is there a problem that we're now seeing with left-arm spin? I don't know. Again, these are questions that have to be asked. Leg spin, yes, sometimes these guys have struggled. Virat Kohli has sometimes struggled against leg spin. AB de Villiers, we all know he's susceptible to wrist spin, and that's why back in 2020 they had held AB de Villiers back in one of the games against Punjab to sort of shield him from the leg spin of Ravi Bishnoi, and that did not go very well for RCB in that game. So teams are also wise about matchups, so they will also hold their wrist spinners back till they get their batsmen in, right? So these are questions. So these are also interesting equations and questions that need to be asked now.
Also, Rajeshri, coming back to today's games, I was feeling that was not playing Bravo a wrong decision, because in the past we have seen that Bravo getting better of Pollard.
Look, Bravo again, because with CSK they don't change too often, right? So I wasn't quite expecting any changes today, and especially they don't really. You haven't seen MS Dhoni go for that player versus player matchup in terms of selection. If it's if it's mostly horses for courses policy for MS Dhoni, and forget about a winning team, he doesn't even tinker too much when his team is not doing well. And a similar case in example was 2020. His team wasn't doing well, and he wasn't going to shuffle and make too many changes. Ruturaj Gaikwad got his 3 or 4 games towards the end of the tournament, towards the back end of the tournament. Maybe he played 1 or 2 before, and he played his 3 successive games at the back end of the tournament when it was all done for Super Kings. So they're not going to make too many changes, and they're not going to chop and change too much, because right now it's looking like a perfect balance for the Super Kings. Someone like Pollard, look, when he gets off to that kind of a mood, it's really difficult to stop. Again, something that we would like to ask Pragyan Ocha: how do you stop someone like Pollard? What are the mistakes that Rohit Sharma made? So if he joins us tonight, we'll see. Otherwise, we'll definitely want to get to understand what do you do and what are the key mistakes that the Super Kings made. Yes, you're talking of drop chances, etc., but these things happen in cricket. But Pollard, or maybe just let it be.
When you talk about the drop chances, Rajeshri, I mean, though Fab did a great job in the middle overs with Moeen Ali, and there was a perfect foundation for the middle order batsmen. But then again, from a fielder like Faf, best fielder rather, and dropping a catch when it was very crucial, in a crucial situation, I mean, maybe that was a very, what do I say? Like, how do I put? That was not expected from Faf at that point of time. Like, if he would have taken that catch, the game would have been changed at that point of time.
ifs and buts, right? That's the beauty of the game. If only Chennai had got 10 runs more. If only Jasprit Bumrah's penultimate over of the CSK of the MI innings of the CSK innings had gotten them some more runs. You have to look back at a lot of things in retrospect on Nesha. For me, also, yes, I agree with you. What if, and there is Pragyan Oja, but also have to also look back at those last 2 overs from Jasprit Bumrah and Dhawal Kulkarni, especially Jasprit Bumrah's penultimate over after going for 21 in his previous over. Pragyan, we were just discussing this game, this intensely crazy game, and wondering at a lot of ifs and buts. But with Pollard in this sort of a mood, is there anything that a team can do to stop him? What did CSK do wrong, or what did Pollard do so right?
I think we have to go deeper into it. The thing is that it was the display of power hitting. It was not batting. It was power hitting. I think the margin of error for bowlers was very less. I think the competition also between a bowler and a batsman that we talk about, a ball and a bat, was not there. It was more of a power hitting dominance game. Because if you see, there were few shots hit to the bowlers, which I think hardly could have gone to the boundary. And I remember one shot, Pollard hitting a Yorker from Shardul Thakur, going straight behind and going for a boundary. I think the margin was very less. So if you talk about this game, I think the team that um, uh, could hit more boundaries and sixes won. As simple as that. And
Also, credit to Jasprit. Yeah.
judging the bowlers will be very unfair on this wicket.
No, you're right. You're right, because that's what we're talking about. The sort of belter of a pitch, and also Jasprit Bumrah's penultimate over of the CSK innings. Before that, he'd gone for 21 runs, and in that 19th over, they just could not get him away. Maybe, had they scored about 10, 12 runs more, it could have been a different game. But credit were due to Jasprit Bumrah as well. It was. What did you make of that over from him?
I think yes, the best of the bowlers going for so many runs. It shows that what kind of a wicket was that. And one over which impressed me the most was of Sam Curran, that 17th over, the way he bowled. I think almost he got his team back, but I think the brilliance of Pollard took the game away, and cameo from Krunal Pandya and Hardik Pandya.
Hmm. Right, absolutely. Onesha, you have a go.
We actually was having a conversation on Moeen Ali's fearless approach. Last season CSK tried Sam Curran up the order, and that wasn't so fruitful as Moeen Ali's promotion this season.
I think Moeen Ali just started the party and Raidu finished it off. As simple as that. That's how it went. Uh,
So it was a
Moeen Ali,
perfect
I think
wicket.
I think it's the confidence that he's carrying. If you see his game this year, I think he's been batting brilliantly, and that's how he batted today. He knew the wicket was good, and he had some runs behind him, so he just went for the kill. Unfortunately, he could not finish, but the moment he left it, Raidu came in and just took it the game from there, and he was just going after the bowlers from the ball one.
Okay, so
Rajesh,
Pragyan, we have a
yeah, Rajesh,
there is
go
a
ahead.
viewer question on Nisha for Pragyan about
Yeah.
one of his tweets. So Kumar Vikram, who obviously follows you on Twitter and follows your tweets very closely, is asking you. So Pragyan, sir, who wins, Captain America or Iron Man?
I think as I said, Mumbai won. Yes, on paper Mumbai won. For me, I think Rohit Sharma is Iron Man, so Iron Man won it. But I think as a cricketer, I felt the competition was missing between the ball and the bat. That is something, and we have seen so many cricketers criticizing the pitch in Chennai
Hmm.
when the ball was holding up a bit, or it was turning
Yeah.
whatever it was a low scoring game.
Hmm.
But now nobody will complain. I
Hmm.
know T20 is a format where you expect big scores, you expect people to hit sixes and all, but at the same time, you also have to think about the basics of the game. That is, the competition between the bat and the ball. I think that was missing today. The margin was very less. and I
Yeah.
think bowlers were just trying to survive. None of the bowlers were looking to pick wickets.
Yeah. I know you because this was Jasprit Bumrah's most expensive spell in the IPL. Just to support what Pragyan said in context with some stats, this was the highest CSK ever posted against the Mumbai Indians, and this was also the highest successful run chase in the IPL on Indian soil. Pragyan, lot of pain points tonight for bowlers. So does this now become a toss in these conditions in Delhi? This was obviously played on a different strip as opposed to the first 2 or 3 matches. This becomes a
and
more
and
aggressive.
mind you, and I what I was seeing the match and understanding was there was no dew. Even if there was dew, very less. Can you imagine if the dew comes in,
Yeah.
and then what would be the situation of a bowler?
Yeah.
So look at the pressure a bowler goes through. A no ball, any kind of a no ball is a free hit. There's a wide delivery. Little here and there, there's a wide delivery. The boundaries are shorter. And if the wicket is a belter, the breathing space is very less. See, I'm not criticizing the format, but I firmly believe that any game has to be, at least there should be some competition where you enjoy, a bowler picking a wicket, and then batsman coming, making a comeback, and then again a bowler making a comeback. That is what you enjoy as a sports lover.
Also, Anisha, there are some viewer questions. I'll take one. One of these I'll take to Pragyan now because he was talking of the conditions on the pitch. Rahul Singh has asked you, Pragyan, 125 of 8 overs today. Obviously, tonight when CSK were scoring at less than 8 runs in the 11th over, and he's also talking about 31 for 5 to 202 by KKR. If the spinners don't have help, does that mean that CSK has the worst bowling group in the death overs? He's asking questions on the death overs
Uh,
bowling.
See, I'll tell you frankly, on a wicket like this, it will be very unfair on anybody's part to judge any bowler, because this was a very different wicket. The conditions were very different. So I wouldn't judge any bowler, any bowler. The matter of fact is any bowler from both the sides. So it will be unfair. And if you talk about CSK, they have been doing well. Their bowlers have done well. I think the man with the golden arm, Mr. Sam Curran, I think every time he gets the ball, he picks the wickets for CSK, and that too in the death and in the start. So I think he's doing really well. They have their plans in place, but please don't judge anybody because of this wicket.
But Kiran Pollard or Nishan Pragya might have a different. I know, and I'm only mean it in a lighter way. 2 overs, 12 runs, and 2 wickets. I know what Pragyan is, where Pragyan is coming from. 2 overs, 12 runs, 2 wickets, the most economical spell on a pitch like this. And he'll say, you know what, I can also go ahead and smack a few, and he'll be a happy man. Of course, I'm sure he's won the man of the
Yeah.
match award there on Nishan.
Yeah. Also, Pragyan, I really want to know that after Pollard's innings, I mean, how many breaths did you take? You must have
I,
taken
I,
9.
I was just enjoying. I was just enjoying the power hitting. I was just enjoying it, and I think the luck was in Mumbai Indians' favor. If you look at that, one of the best fielders of CSK, Faf du Plessis, dropping that catch. I think if that catch would have been taken, the game would have been totally different. So I think there's a supernatural power, and I believe in that. So I think the little bit of luck factor was with Mumbai Indians.
So we got to know that cricketers do believe in supernatural powers, because after the match got over, we actually saw Pollard praying to his god. So
No,
yeah,
I think he was not praying. He was trying to,
say thank you.
give his
Dad.
regards to his departed father. Recently, he lost his father, so maybe he was trying to show that he really misses his father, or that knock was for his father. That's how
No,
it
in fact,
looked.
again, from what you're saying, Anisha, when Kiran Pollard spoke at the post-match presentation, that is what he said. And to bear with Pragyan on this, first of all, I want to thank the Almighty for watching over me and giving me the strength. So, of course, he's talking about his father and and what happened in recent weeks with Pollard before he came over to the IPL.
Yeah.
Anisha, but also we were discussing why Krunal Pandya did not
Yeah.
bowl earlier
Yeah.
on. And, of course, Kiran Pollard, we spoke of the spell reason to hold him back. Pragyan, you agree with that?
I think because of the wicket, I think the situation was not right, and they had the backup plan. They had Kieran Pollard, they had other bowlers who could fill in Krunal Pandya's overs. I think maybe Rohit Sharma, as a captain, thought that was not the appropriate time to get Krunal into attack. And as we all know, he's not a big spinner of the ball. He's someone who bowls with a lot of angles and he varies the pace. So I think because of that reading, with the captain that Rohit is, he would have thought maybe he can go with Pollard or somebody else who could give him that tight overs, and that's what Pollard did. He gave him a couple of wickets.
Hmm.
Rajesh, it's always good to take an expert's opinion on what we were earlier, what we were discussing earlier. Like we had a word that was not playing. Bravo was a wrong decision. So, what do you have to say on this, Pragyan?
But who do you play Bravo for?
But
I
I'm
think
asking this because we have seen him in the past that getting better of Pollard.
yes, but they wanted a quick bowler on this kind of wicket. That was Ngidi, and they had Faf du Plessis, Moeen Ali. They select themselves, and Sam Curran also select himself. So I think if you look at the combination, three R's already selected, uh, and the other one was Ngidi. Between Ngidi and Bravo, I think they wanted someone who could bowl quick. So the selection was quite clear.
Honestly, I was expecting a super over. The match would have got more interesting.
Okay, there's another viewer question here from Rahul Singh. We'll take one more before we close on Nisha. Because Pragyan spoke of conditions. Also, Rahul Singh is asking, except that one over of Karan, which we were discussing also, every over had 4 or 5 hit me deliveries. Okay, fine. We're talking of the pitch and how the pitch favored the batsman. But Rahul Singh is saying you said there was no due, but then why couldn't the bowlers execute more Yorkers? What is your take on that, Pragyan? Some of the Yorker lengths went for full tosses.
Yeah, it's the pressure. We also have to remember there is something called pressure in a game. When the batsman is going after you, when you see a batsman like Kieran Pollard, Hardik Pandya, Krunal Pandey, Rohit Sharma, they're going after you, then there is something called pressure. But saying that, I think if you talk about both the teams, had CSK executed their plans better with those Yorkers or the length that they were bowling to Pollard, had they pulled it back a bit, it would have been a different game. I think they were bowling in the slot. Maximum deliveries were in the slot.
Right. Of course, Pragyan, your predictions on Mumbai Indians are turning out to be right. You said yes, Chennai didn't quite suit their style of play. Delhi will be a lot better. You see this team now, coming back from behind now. They started off scratchy because of Chennai, because of conditions, and now you see the Mumbai Indians back to their own, and you see the top four being consolidated, or do you see somebody from that bottom four also making a pitch to get into the playoffs?
Personally, I feel teams from bottom, once they start winning, then the tournament becomes very exciting. If the top four only win, then I think you can clearly see there will be a divide between the top group and the teams below that. So I want a competition. If as a spectator you want to watch, you want all these teams which are down the order, they performing well against the big sides, then the table starts shuffling, and that's what I think will be more entertaining.
There's this big divide already between the top four and the bottom four, right? But it's also around the same time, if you remember, Pragyan, that the bottom ranked teams started bouncing back up, and some of the top ranked teams had started losing steam. Case in point was
Yes,
Punjab and Bangalore.
yes, true. That's the beauty of this sport. So it's very clear. Till you have qualified, you have not qualified. That's how it is. So I think who are in the bottom, they should think about that. Like the top four has not yet decided, and the top four always should think that there is no Q mark still on to their sides. So they have to play well. That's how it is.
No, absolutely. And there is no cue mark yet for any of the teams as we close tonight. But this is obviously Rajasthan Royals and Sunrisers Hyderabad tomorrow, the first game of the double header. 7 matches for CSK, DC, and RCB. And just to underline what Pragyan was saying, the top 3 teams on 7 points, 7 matches, 10 points. Of course, CSK ahead by virtue of the net run rate. MI 7 matches, 8 points, and Punjab Kings 7 matches, 6 points. Of course, this is exactly what we were discussing. Somebody from the bottom 4 could suddenly make a pitch for that playoff spot. But of course, so we'll keep track of all of that. We'll bring you specials and stats analysis and pre-match and post-match analysis with Pragyan, Deep, Boria, Annesha, and myself. Thank you so much for joining us. This was a cracker of a game, yes. Heavily tilted in favor of the batsman, but the better, or let's say the team with the potential to hit more boundaries and sixes won the night in Delhi. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed our broadcast of the post-match analysis after that sizzler in Delhi. We'll join you in a few hours' time from like 2 p.m. remember on Sunday for the double headers. The first game was, of course, Rajasthan Royals and Sunrisers Hyderabad, who will take the field at a new capital. Thank you. Good night, and do subscribe to Sports Today.